Today, we'll uncover the fascinating story of Naamah, a character mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible. Naamah was an Ammonite princess, the daughter of the king of the Ammonites. Her story is recorded in 1 Kings 14:21-31. More than just being the wife of King Solomon, she played a pivotal role in the intricate political and spiritual narratives of her time. Naamah's marriage to Solomon, the legendary king of Israel known for his unparalleled wisdom and wealth, was not just a personal union, it also carried significant cultural and political implications. The Ammonites were traditional enemies of Israel, which made this union particularly controversial among the more conservative Israelites. Furthermore, Naamah's story exemplifies how personal and political decisions can influence not only an individual's destiny, but also the fate of an entire nation. Her journey is filled with mysteries and profound lessons, which we'll explore together in this video. Before we dive into this captivating narrative, let me remind you, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support helps us bring more stories and reflections like this to you and others. As the daughter of a king, Naamah grew up surrounded by luxury and privilege. Her marriage to Solomon, one of the most powerful and influential monarchs in Israel's history, was far more than a personal affair. It was a significant political and diplomatic strategy. However, this union sparked controversy due to the historic rivalry between the Israelites and the Ammonites. The Ammonites, descendants of Lot, the nephew of Abraham, were traditional adversaries of Israel. As a result, Naamah's presence in Solomon's court raised concerns among conservative Israelites who feared that it might weaken the cultural and religious values of their nation. It's important to note that this wasn't Solomon's first controversial marriage. He had previously married the daughter of an Egyptian pharaoh. Over time, the king expanded his circle of wives and concubines, including women from many nations and cultures. According to 1 Kings 11 verse 3, Solomon had an astonishing 700 wives of royal lineage and 300 concubines, a number that was both impressive and troubling. This pattern didn't go unnoticed. Both his mother, Bathsheba, and the scriptures, such as in Deuteronomy 7:17, warned against kings taking many wives, cautioning that it could lead to spiritual downfall. Yet, Solomon ignored these warnings, allowing himself to be captivated by foreign cultures and their practices. Among all the women in his life, Naamah held a special place in his heart. Solomon's love for Naamah was more than just an ordinary passion. It transcended cultural and political barriers, influencing the king to make decisions that would have lasting consequences for the kingdom of Israel. His devotion to her is a powerful reminder of how even the wisest leaders can stray when they lose sight of their fundamental values. Solomon's love for Naamah was more than just an ordinary passion. It transcended cultural and political barriers, influencing the king to make decisions that would have lasting consequences for the kingdom of Israel. His devotion to her is a powerful reminder of how even the wisest leaders can stray when they lose sight of their fundamental values. The relationship between Solomon and Naamah became a turning point, not only for the king, but also for the spiritual state of Israel. Solomon's devotion to Naamah led him to permit practices of worshiping foreign gods. He even went so far as to construct altars for these gods, following the customs of Naamah and his other foreign wives, thus deviating from the foundational principles of Judaism. This permissiveness was not just a personal failure, but a decision with profound societal consequences. The Bible recounts that Solomon, who began his reign as a devoted servant of the one true God, ultimately succumbed to the cultural pressures and influences around him. His passion for women of various nations and beliefs eroded his devotion to the Lord. This tragic shift is detailed in 1 Kings 11, where it becomes evident how these choices weakened the spiritual core of Israel. The consequences were catastrophic. The idolatry introduced under Solomon's reign not only compromised the faith of the people, but also led to political and social turmoil. The prophecy of Ahijah, recorded in 1 Kings 11:9-39, warned that Israel would be divided as a result of Solomon's sins, including his idolatry and disobedience to God's laws. After Solomon's death, the prophecy came true. His son Rehoboam inherited the throne but faced a rebellion led by Jeroboam, a former servant of Solomon. The result was the division of Israel into two kingdoms, the northern kingdom led by Jeroboam and the southern kingdom of Judah ruled by Rehoboam. This division marked the beginning of a period of political and spiritual instability with long-lasting repercussions. Naamah's role in this context is significant. While the Bible doesn't provide extensive details about her personal actions or beliefs, her influence as one of Solomon's favored wives undoubtedly contributed to his decisions to allow practices that went against God's commandments. Solomon's intense love for Naamah serves as a poignant reminder of how even the wisest can falter when they allow external influences to overshadow their core values. The story of Naamah and Solomon is a powerful example of how personal choices can shape not only our lives but also the destiny of those around us. Despite his unmatched wisdom and power, Solomon allowed his passions and political alliances to lead him away from God. This narrative teaches us that even the greatest leaders are not immune to temptation. Naamah's marriage to Solomon, a union that bridged cultural and political divides, had far-reaching implications. It led the king to compromise his spiritual integrity, opening the door to idolatry in Israel. This decision marked the beginning of a decline in Israel's spiritual and political stability. The prophecy of Israel's division came to pass, leading to long-term consequences for the nation. At the same time, Naamah's role in this story is a reminder of the weight of influence. Whether intentional or not, her presence and practices impacted Solomon, and by extension, the entire kingdom. Her story prompts us to reflect on the influences in our own lives and how they shape our decisions and beliefs. As we consider this narrative, we are challenged to hold fast to our principles, even when faced with external pressures. The lesson from Solomon and Naamah is clear. Our faith must be deeply rooted to withstand the trials and temptations that come our way. If this story inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming content. Together, let's continue exploring biblical stories that deepen our understanding of faith and provide wisdom for our daily lives. See you next time.